Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph for number 45. Okay, I'm going to graph point A, which is -3, +4, right there. That's A. B, which is 1, 6, right there. C, which is 5, -2. So 5 right here, -2. And D, which is 1, -4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots. I'm going to use the color blue. I'm going to make my line a little skinnier so that way it's a little easier to see. So it's A to B, B to C, C to D, and D back to A. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and lock that in place. So I'm going to go and group it and lock it. Okay, now the rest of it's asking us to rotate this 90 degrees clockwise. So I'm going to actually show you or remind you of the way that we may have done it in class, right? So it wants you to rotate this around the origin, which is the 0.00. I'm going to put it in black right there. So I'm going to make a little hook or a little kind of like a little branch. So I'm going to start the origin, and since A is -3, 4, I'm going to go ahead and trace that. So A is -3 and up 4 right there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. So that means that bottom part is going to actually be standing up because when it rotates 90 degrees, that's what's going to happen. So it's going to actually do that. Okay. But now that's going to be right on the origin. So my new point A is going to be right here. That's my A prime. Okay. A prime is right there. And to get there, it's exactly the same as A, but instead we're going up 3 and then to the right 4. Right? So originally A was left 3 and then up 4. But when we did the hook, it became up 3 and right 4 instead. So that's where our new point A is going to be, and that's called A prime. Okay, B is the same thing to get B prime. Okay, so we can say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do right 1, and then I'm going to go up, a little cricket, but it's okay, up 6. Right? And when I rotate that, let me group those together. Okay. When I rotate that 90 degrees, so the X is going to be horizontal, but now when I rotate 90 degrees, it's going to be vertically, and it's going to be going down. See that? Okay, so it's going to be down here now. So my new point B is going to be, that's B prime, it's going to be down 1 and over 6. Okay, remember, B originally was over 1 to the right and then up 6. But when we rotate that 90 degrees clockwise, it became down 1 and over 6. Okay, or the x coordinate would be 6 and the y coordinate would be -1. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that little hook. Okay, point C, to make the new C prime, point C was over to the right 6 and then down 1. And if I am to do the hook for that, I'm going to go ahead and rotate that 90 degrees. Oops, too much. Right there. Okay, so now it's going to be down there. So now it's going to be, the new point C is going to be down 6. And so instead of over to the right 6, it's going to be down 6 and then to the left 1 time. And that's going to be C prime. Okay, let me get rid of that. And then point D is going to be, let's see, point D is going to be to the right 1, then down 4 times. Okay, that's point D. And again, if I do the hook for that, okay, I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees, and it's going to be based off the origin. So instead of the right 1 and down 4, and now it's going to be to the right, or excuse me, to down 1 and then to the left 4. Okay, and that's going to be my new point D. That's going to be called D prime. Okay, let me get rid of that little hook. Okay, and now we have our new polygon, our new rectangle. Let me just draw that in. I want that in red, and I want skinnier line. Okay, so now my A prime, B prime, C prime is going to be this shape right here. Okay. Okay. Moving on to number 48. Write the equation of each line described below. Okay. So part A, okay, a line that goes to this point. Remember, so anytime you write a line, it's going to be y equals mx plus b. All right, so first you got to find the m, and then you got to find the b. So to get the m, you just got to do the subtraction of the y. So 4 take away 10, or you can go 10 take away 4. Either way is fine. But I'm going to go ahead and start with 4 take away 10, and then you're going to do the subtraction of the x's, and you're going to put that down below as a fraction. So the x's are going to be 1, and you got to go in the same order, take away negative 7. So 1 take away negative 7. Okay, and the double negative right here, negative, or take away negative, actually becomes a positive. So on top, you will have 4 take away 10 is negative 6. On the bottom, you have 1 plus 7 is going to be 8. So your slope is negative 6 over 8, or if you reduce that, you can divide that by 2 each. You will end up with negative 3 over 4. Okay, and that's going to be your m. So my m is going to be negative 3 over 4. Okay, and now all I need to do is figure out that b. So to figure out the b, you will have to write another y equals mx plus b, and plug in everything you know into the m, into the x, and into the y. Okay, so the m we already know. Oops, that's a little too big. M, we already know that m is going to be negative 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in, negative 3 over 4. Okay, the x is going to be one of these. Okay, you can pick whichever one you want. I'm going to go ahead and use 1 and 4 because those are easy. Those seem easier. So the x is going to be the one value. Sorry, my mic is resetting itself. The x is going to be 1. So I'm going to multiply that by 1. And the y is going to be 4. So I'm going to multiply that by 4. Or replace the y with a 4. Now you're going to do a little bit of math. So we have 4 equals, and negative 3/4 times 1 is just negative 3/4 plus b. All right, and if you don't like the negative 3/4, you can change it into decimal if you like. So you can go 4 equals negative 0.75 plus b, and a lot more people are comfortable with that. And then to solve for b, you just got to add 0.75, inverse operation, and 4 plus 0.75, and everyone knows $4 plus 75 cents is $4.75. That's going to be equal to your b. So now for your final equation, it's going to be y equals 3/4 x plus 4.75 if you like that. Okay, so if you like decimals, you can put 4.75. And then since half of it's in fraction, half of it's decimal, I'm okay with this. But if you don't like that, then you can change that negative 3/4 to a decimal just so that it'd be all consistent. So it'd be negative 0.75 x plus 4.75. That's part A. Okay. Part B, you want a line with a slope of negative 3/4. Okay, we just figured that out. And it passes through negative 14/4. So this is actually halfway done for us. This is y equals, and negative 3/4. Again, maybe I'm more comfortable with decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to negative 0.75 because that's what 3/4 is, x. And then all you got to do is figure out what the y-intercept is using this point. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Y equals mx plus b. And the m I already know is going to be negative 0.75. The x is going to be the 14. If I'm using this right here, x is the 14. So it's going to be times 14. The y is going to be the 4. So I'm going to put 4 right here. So 4 equals negative 0.75 times 14 plus b. Then all you got to do is figure out what 14 times negative 0.75. And that's going to give you negative 10.5. So 4 equals negative 10.5 plus b. Okay. Now you're still going to solve for b. You're not quite done yet. So what you got to do is you have to do inverse operation again. You have to add 10.5 to both sides. And you will finally end up with 14.5 equals b. So your b value is going to be plus 14.5. Okay. Letter C. Find a line with a slope of 0 that goes through the point 611. So we already know that this equation is going to be y equals 0x. Okay. So we know the slope is 0 because that's what it says. So again, we got to do the y equals mx plus b. Okay. And we know the slope is already 0. So we know the slope is 0. I'm going to use this point. So 6 is going to be the x value. 6 here. The y value is going to be negative 11. That's going to be added to b. So 0 times 6 is just 0. So you get negative 11 equals 0 plus b. And 0 plus b is just b. So b is equal to negative 11. So now we know that our equation is going to be y equals 0x minus 11. And that's very formal, but if you want to simplify a bit, 0x means that there is no x. So you can also write y equals 11, negative 11. And that would be your final answer. Okay, that's number 48. Okay, and last one, solve each equation below for x. Explain or justify each step. So basically show your work and then check it. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit on this one. Well, actually, I think we're fine. Okay, so I'm gonna rewrite this part A. I'm gonna write it right here. Okay, this is x over 8 equals 3 over 4. All right, something that you might have learned in middle school is you can do what we call a cross product. Right, so you can do diagonally x times 4 is 4x, and diagonally 8 times 3 is 24. So that's 4x equals 24. Okay, and solve for x by doing inverse operation. We're going to go ahead and divide this by 4 because this is a multiplication of 4. So to inverse it, I have to divide it by 4 and divide it by 4. Okay, 4 divided by 4 is 1, so you get 1x, or just x by itself, equals 6. Right? So this is showing your steps, or explain it, and then to check it, you just got to put the x is 6 right here. Got to put the 6 right here where the x is. So we're saying 6 over 8 equals 3 over 4. Right? And that's going to work out to be, so 3 over 4 is already reduced. 6 over 8, you're going to divide it by 2. And you end up with 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. And 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. So 3/4 equals 3/4. And that's your check. Okay, so that's part A. Part B. Five x minus x plus 1 equals 5 minus 2x. Okay, I would suggest that you go ahead and distribute this negative 1 or negative into both of these. So you'll end up with 5x minus 1 x minus 1 equals 5 minus 2x. Okay, so that's distributing the negative into both of those. Okay, you're going to combine the 5x and the negative 1x. They're on the same side, so you can combine them together. No need to do opposite. 5x minus 1x is going to give you 4x minus 1 equals 5 minus 2x. Now that these are on the opposite side, you're going to go ahead and combine them any way you like. I'm going to go ahead and add 2x to both sides. So this will give me 0 over here, and over here on the right hand side, left hand side, excuse me, it will give me 6x minus 1 equals 5. And I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides just to get rid of that number, and these are going to make 0. And over here we're going to have 6x equals 6, and then now we're going to go ahead and inverse operation. We're going to go ahead and do the inverse of times 6, which is divided by 6. So these right here are going to give me 1x, or just x, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. So your answer is x equals 1. These are all the steps. Okay, to check it, you're going to put the 1 in place of all the x's. So you're going to put a 1 right here. You're going to put a 1 right here. You're going to put 1 right there. And see what happens. So you're going to do this with 5 times 1. You can just do this right there. 5 times 1 is 5 minus. And then in here, you're going to go 1 plus 1. That's going to give you 2 equals 5 minus. And then this right here, you're going to have 2 times 1 right here. 2 times 1. It's going to be 2. And you can see it looks the same. And 5 minus 2 is 3. And 5 minus 2 is 3. So that checks off as well. Okay, so the answer is x equals 1, and everything checks off. Okay, last one. We got 3x plus 5 minus x. That's part C. 3x minus 5, plus 5 minus x equals x minus 3. Okay, again, these are on the same side, so I can just put them together. So 3x minus 1x is going to be 2x plus 5. Let me move that over just for a second. Okay. And that's going to equal x minus 3. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and combine all the like terms. So these x's are on opposite sides, so I'm going to have to do the opposite of minus x and minus x. And keep in mind, this is actually 1x. So minus 1x. Right, these are going to cancel or make 0. And on this side, 2x minus 1x is just x plus 5 equals negative 3. Then we're going to go ahead and combine the numbers. So instead of positive 5, you're going to go inverse operation of negative 5. Negative 5. These are going to cancel, make 0. You're going to get x equals negative 8. That's your answer. And again, you're going to go ahead and plug in negative 8 into all these x's. So it'll be 3 times negative 8 minus negative 8 equals negative 8. Looks like a 2 minus 3. Okay, so you can do 3 times negative 8 right here. 3 times negative 8 is going to be negative 24 plus 5. And then minus a minus 8, it's going to give you positive 8. That's an equal. And then right here you got negative 8 minus 3. So negative 8 minus 3 is going to give you negative 11. Okay, so you're going to work this out. Negative 24 plus 5. Right, so that's 24 is positive, 24 is negative, 5 is positive. So when you combine them, you get negative 19 plus 8 equals negative 11. Negative 19 is positive, negative 8 is positive, so you're going to subtract them and keep the sign of the negative. So 19 minus 8 is 11, and that 19 is negative, so it wins out. So you keep the negative, and negative 11, and it goes negative 11. So that checks off. All right, that's your homework.